fellow A-Plusers, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to a brand new episode of A+ Morphinominal, your stop for your Power Rangers and Super Sentai review and news right here, guys, on our YouTube page, A+ Opinions. It is your trusty host, as always, Adam Perez, and we are back with a brand new episode as we're going to be getting into Super Sentai Strongest Battle, episode number 3. Go, 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 go! As little cute Rita would say in this week's episode, we're going to be breaking it all down for you guys. But first and foremost, I'm so glad I decided to go ahead and review this particular series. While it is this little 4-part mini-series, man, you know, I go back and think to myself, Adam, why were you even doubting not reviewing this particular series? So for all of you guys who pushed me, who really asked me to go ahead and review this, thank you so much for doing so, guys, because I've been having an absolute blast. Just the mystery behind the overall story arc, it sort of connecting with Ryusoulger also, and then just the epic battle sequences that we've gotten so far just really make these 4 weeks just extremely worth it. So I've been having a blast. We're on the road to Ryusoulger, guys. This is a perfect way to get us hyped for the upcoming season, man. So just wanted to go ahead and get that out of the way. A little bit of business, though, real quick. For those of you who don't know, Power Rangers Beast Morphers went ahead and actually aired and debuted this past weekend, and we did a fantastic review in regards to Beast Morphers, guys. So if you had the opportunity to see the episode, feel free to follow us along with our review if you'd like. I'll put a link in the description box below. But now that that's out of the way, guys, let us get down to business, shall we? Episode number 3, Super Sentai Strongest Battle. Look, I need to talk about a couple things here. I want to jump automatically right into the Stinger situation. Last time we saw in last week's episode, Stinger was doing a little bit of detective work on his own, kind of walking around the planet, going through different areas, trying to see exactly what he can find and discover, because he knows something fishy is certainly going on. And last time that we saw him, he wind up coming across an office with a really weird sort of magical looking plant absorbing some energy and a room full of just books and ancient texts, and so he needs to try and figure out what these ancient texts say so that he can go ahead and decipher what's going on and bring it to a stop. But he's not the only person looking for this information, as Stinger is being crept up on here in this episode. And the person who's following Stinger this week, Doggy Kruger, of all people. I certainly wasn't expecting him to have a pivotal role in this series in general. It was great seeing him kind of do some battling, I think in either last week's episode or episode 1, but to see he kind of comes to the forefront here in this week's episode, I really had a blast in general watching him. So we come to find out that Kruger, along with Stinger, are actually here at this tournament, not necessarily to participate, but they're undercover, which I was not expecting. A really great twist here, considering the fact that Stinger's organization that he's from, along with Doggy Kruger's, they both realized that there was just some sort of weird anomaly taking place in the magnetic field of this particular planet that they're on in Nemesis, and so they were sent here to try and figure out exactly what it is. But before they can kind of figure things out, they do realize that they need the help of Doggy Kruger's technology to go ahead and decipher exactly what it is that the text is certainly saying. But before they can kind of figure it all out, they are in fact immediately attacked by just random enemy troopers. This is a planet that should technically just be a bunch of Super Sentai heroes on here battling it out, but somehow, for some reason, there are enemy troopers here. So we are finally putting the pieces together here. The revelation of seeing Rita in this episode kind of finally taking down that facade, that smile of hers, which bumps me out because she is such a cutie. I love just the bubbly personality from Rita in this series so far. So I'm a little bit bummed that that's not technically who she is, but I love the fact that she has other alternative motives, that she kind of plays up the role like she's tired of being this happy-go-lucky character, almost like, can we just get this tournament over with so I can have exactly what it is that I've been trying to get this whole entire time. So when she winds up like taking off her necklace and she just throws it, or she's like smiling and then all of a sudden she just goes into like that just weird face, like a, and just stands there, like that creeped me out, quite frankly. But it's a creep factor that I really appreciated and enjoyed in here, because now we're starting to see exactly what Rita's all about. And I'm curious, because of the fact that she is a new character that we've never seen her before, I'm wondering if she has ties to other characters from other series, or if she's really somebody else that we've met before, but maybe in just like a different persona or just a different body, if that makes sense. So I'm really excited to kind of see how that storyline continues. But what Doggy Kruger and Stinger find out by the end of this episode is that Rita is using these powers and these abilities, this energy she's absorbing, in order to go ahead and bring back an ancient demon by the name of the Ultimate Great Satan. Crazy name. Crazy. Like, Satan wasn't bad enough. Now you got to call this person the Ultimate Great Satan. So it's a little bit crazy as to where this is going. So I'm going to assume that this is probably going to be maybe the final battle that we get in next week's episode. You got to think a Ryusoulger battle will in fact take place, and maybe whatever it is that Rita is certainly trying to summon, maybe that's what we'll also get, another battle there as well. But maybe I'm certainly mistaken, but I like the direction in which that storyline is taking so far. And sticking with Doggy Kruger here, I gotta talk about his fight in this week's episode with Kagura. I've been a huge Kagura fan ever since Tokyuger, and I gotta be honest, man, I forgot that Kagura is as strong as she certainly can be at times, right? Like, yes, she puts up like this sort of like, I don't want to say toddler, but she puts up like this little kid sort of persona very much. But when she believes in herself, when she knows that she's the strongest and she starts amping up her strongest girl ability, I've seen her demolish foes before. Like, I know exactly how powerful Kagura certainly is when she winds up bringing out her strongest girl, and I have not seen that technique of hers in such a long time since I watched the series, but the moment she pulled it out, I immediately knew that Doggy Kruger was in for a fight for his life, and I absolutely loved it because, yes, while they did talk about the idea of like, Kagura, we're going to let you win because we're trying to set up a trap, you can clearly tell that Doggy Kruger was not ready for what Kagura was going to bring to him. Like, just the little cute little headbutt she gives, and then just like the little quick claw, like the little slapping things. Her spinning Hurricane Rana would make Rey Mysterio proud for sure. I mean, it was incredible what she was able to do going face to face against Doggy Kruger. A little annoying hearing her like whimper every time she wound up getting hit. Like, come on, take it like a woman. You got this. So, especially like when Yamato and Captain Marvelous are trying to talk, all you hear is Kagura in the background getting beat up. It kind of threw me out of the scene for just a little bit, but overall, I thought the battle sequence between these two were just absolutely phenomenal. And then you have to also talk about the final battle that we wind up getting with Captain Marvelous and Yamato facing off against Ryusoulger, which was absolutely incredible in its own right, quite frankly. There's something really cool about, and this is probably one of the reasons why I love Captain Marvelous. I just love just the ability for him to be able to switch out into any ranger that he absolutely wants to. The Denjimen effect that he wind up using in here, where he's like he's like moving side to side with the electricity as he's going past Ryusoulger slashes and stuff. Absolutely gorgeous. Like, the special effects in here, I feel like the budget was just up here for this week's episode. I mean, it was just breathtaking to watch him just kind of slip past Ryusoulger's waves and then just punching him. It looked incredible. So I thought that was a really, really well done battle sequence all episode long. But with that said, though, we do have to talk about Ryusoulger here in this week's episode also. So the idea behind Kagura along with Doggy Kruger's match is the idea is that they wanted Kagura to go ahead and win so that it would in fact draw Ryusoulger out, because technically Kagura would be technically the strongest that there is. And so while Kagura is a little bit reluctant to let that happen, right? Like, I wouldn't want to face Ryusoulger either, so I certainly don't blame her whatsoever. It does allow Ryusoulger to come out so that they can have that epic battle between him along with Captain Marvelous and Yamato. And so the moment that Ryusoulger is in fact defeated, we come to find out that the person under the helmet is no longer Taka that it was earlier in this episode. Now it is in fact Stinger. So earlier in this episode, not only does Marvelous see Taka in the armor, but if I'm not mistaken, I believe Taka in the armor goes back to kind of regroup. We see a struggling Luca who is in fact held captive. They don't show her face. They just show like parts of her body, like her mouth, her gun also. So we know that Luca is alive but captured, and now with Taka in the armor. The next time we see Ryusoulger though in here, he immediately kind of blindsides Stinger and takes him out. So now the armor has passed from Taka to Stinger, and in a huge surprise at the end of this episode, it is Stinger in the costume now. But now that Ryusoulger's been defeated, or I should say defeated, because who knows what's going to happen now, Stinger lets us know that this armor is sentient, that this armor has a conscience, it has a brain, like it knows what it's doing. It's sort of like the armor is like a living being in a sense with no sort of occupant inside. Really, the idea is that whoever is inside of it is being controlled by this armor, and I'm assuming the armor decides whoever it wants to go ahead and pass itself onto. It's always moving on to whoever is the strongest at that particular point in time. So the idea of a living armor is fascinating to me. I'm kind of curious to see if they'll even go and dive deeper into the history of Ryusoulger in the Ryusoulger series. I really hope that they do, and I really hope that is a really great storyline that leads up to letting us know maybe like how it became under this particular spell, right? Like how did it get to become this sentient armor that we know it as of today? So it's got me intrigued. It really does have me intrigued. But the idea here is that not only is it sentient, but the wearer, according to Stinger, he's able to see like parts of Ryusoulger's past along with visions of the other people that he's captured also. So he's seen Luca, he's seen Taka, so he could probably know about where their whereabouts are at if he's inside of the armor. So what we see here in Captain Marvelous, who is trying to really do his best to get his friends back, decides, I'm going to go ahead and put on this freaking armor, which I'm like, what are you doing, bro? Like, why? Like, I get it. I get it that he's probably using this armor to get to his people. But now we're probably going to come up to a situation where we've got Captain Marvelous as Ryusoulger, maybe having to fight the whole entire crew now, right? Like even Marvelous says something like, if I beat you guys up or something like that. I can't even remember what he says along those lines, but he's pretty much just letting them know, don't let me kick your ass, right? Like I know I'm strong already, and with me and Ryusoulger teaming up, please don't let me kick your ass. So I think we're gonna get ourselves an epic battle, quite frankly, one that I'm really excited and looking very much forward to. But this Ryusoulger armor, the way that it's kind of played itself out, has been absolutely incredible, quite frankly. Quick honorable mention though does go to just a quick scene that we get between Yamato and Captain Marvelous when they're back in the living room just kind of talking amongst themselves. You know, they talk about the idea like, yes, I understand that Ryusoulger is an enemy that we certainly have to take care of, right? But I think the idea for Yamato is if Rita is behind this whole entire tournament and putting this all together, are we really here to make the wish that we all intended to try and make, right? Like, is this attempt to make this wish just going to fall by the wayside and mean absolutely nothing? Because there are a lot of Super Sentai characters here who have given their heart to try and get this one wish granted for them. And there's some really great wishes, right? They're not selfish wishes. They're wishes to help those that they certainly care about and this particular world. So now that you know that you're here and you're putting everything into it and you come to find out that it's a lie, that's got to be extremely hurtful for a lot of the Super Sentai members that are there, right? So the fact that Marvelous doesn't even let him finish, he understands what it is that he's trying to say, and Captain Marvelous is like, we're going to get some payback. Like when it's time for payback, I'm going to be right there with you because now you scammed everybody out of a wish to do the universe some good, and that deserves an ass whooping. Like that deserves a beatdown for sure. So I just love that. I just loved it because for me, it's like Yamato just has this great balance. It feels like of, yes, I'm a kind and I'm a caring person and I will go out of my way to be happy and like make sure that everybody's happy around me. But if you piss me off, we're going to have some words and I'm going to give it to you. And I there's something about that I truly, truly dig. So I just really appreciated that scene here in this week's episode. And then, of course, to wrap up this particular week's episode, we do get ourselves just a little bit of taste of some Ryusoulger in here also, as we come to see that one of the master elders from the upcoming Ryusoulger show actually winds up popping up here towards the end. Maybe he's trying to search for the same exact thing that the brothers were in the past couple of episodes. I believe we actually see Ryusoulger green and black. The Super Sentai invitation winds up popping up and actually transports them, I'm assuming, to Nemesis. Why I did that now instead of earlier, I really don't have any idea. But once they're gone, that's when we see the Master Elder approaching. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe that's Master Elder Red, which is Ko, who's the Red Ryusoulger. I believe that's Ko's mentor. Like, I believe that's his master that teaches him his ways. So to kind of see the Master Elder here also looking for a specific Ryusoulger, it makes me a little bit intrigued, quite frankly. We actually see him using the Ryusoulger sword, but in the photo that we wind up having, they're actually, all the masters are actually holding just silver swords. So maybe he has not passed down his sword just yet to Ko and the rest of the Ryusoulgers. So I think that was just a little bit fascinating. So hopefully when the series starts, we'll come to find out exactly what it is that this Master Elder was certainly looking for in the cave. But guys, another great episode, quite frankly. I'm sad that episode number 4 is coming to an end. I just hope that it doesn't feel rushed and like a lot of information in just 30 minutes sort of thing. So I'm hoping that the pacing is well, and I'm certainly hoping that the payoff is fantastic also. But I've certainly loved this crossover event so far, but those are just my A+ opinions. I want to know yours, so please comment below at the bottom, guys. And don't forget to go ahead and subscribe to us here on our YouTube page. Like our videos, share our videos, and subscribe, and click that bell notification so anytime we drop a brand new video, you will certainly be notified. Check us out on our Facebook page, our Twitter account, and Instagram. And until next time, guys, real so cool!